2, and 1.
Tired of wiping on the same boss for hours?
Die, insect.
Can't seem to win against that new druid deck?
My thanks to you.
Are your teammates not standing on the payload?
Quit lollygagging. Get on the payload.
Well, grab a drink and pull up a chair. This is the Game Case Show, your Blizzard Entertainment podcast. Here are your hosts, Cuddles and Turarts.
Hi, hello, howdy, and welcome to episode 101 of the Game Case Show. Now, you all know that I am Turarts, the Beast Mastery Hunter roaming around Azeroth, most likely to die from fatigue because I've alt-tabbed out of the game. And Cuddles is our resident Brew Master Monk, still selling artisanal cheese in Pandaria, not giving a rat's ass about the Legion or what they're up to in the rest of Azeroth. If you haven't been able to tell already, this show is something completely different. I have kicked Cuddles out of the host chair and shoved him in the guest seat with not one, but two other guests. It's a bit tight tonight, guys, but I promise you it will be fun. So before we get into what we're talking about, let's find out who we are talking with. Cuddles, this is your show, dear, so give us just a brief who you are, how long you've been streaming, and your favorite pizza.
Okay, wow, that was a surprising last question. My name is Cuddles, or The Game Case here on Twitch. I've been streaming full-time for about 1.5 years. I've been streaming a little bit longer than that, but I made the commitment to making this my job back then. And my favorite pizza would have to be meat pizza. There's something about shoving my mouth full of meat that's just oddly satisfying.
All right. Well, on that note,
just gonna let that one
go. Roll. Yeah. Everyone who knows Cuddles knows that is an accurate statement on so many levels. I don't even know where to go with that. Let's go with our next guest. So we've had this gentleman on the show before. He is entertaining, and his streams, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's great games. Sometimes it's amazing conversation. Sometimes it's a pigeon. He has built a wonderful community around himself and has been known to rock a pretty epic onesie. DJTruthsayer, how are you tonight?
Evening. Yeah, I'm all right. Very tired. We were in England yesterday, and now we're back in the Netherlands, and it's very, very late, but very, very, very happy to be here. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Well, it's been a little while since we've had you on the show, so why don't you give us a bit about yourself, how long you've been streaming, and your favorite ice cream?
So I've been streaming about 2.5 years. I've been streaming full time for the best part of that, to be honest. I stream mainly Elite Dangerous, and I lead or help lead a player group called The Sovereignty, which has well over 1,000 members and is a beast which has grown wildly out of my control and is a huge amount of fun and a huge amount of stress and all of the wonderful things. And yeah, as you said, my stream is not your average stream. Quite often you will come into my stream and find my spaceship not moving, and it has been known for me to go into external camera for 6 hours and just sit there staring at my spaceship while a group of us talk about things we find interesting. And my favorite ice cream, chocolate fudge brownie.
Ooh, I was really hoping you weren't lactose intolerant because I wasn't for sure. So I had a backup question just in case. Thank God. All right. And finally, we have another chap from across the ocean. He has also been on our guest before, or on our show before, a guest before. Words are difficult. Anyway, his streams are also energetic. He is very enthusiastic. He does everything from gaming to parody songs and occasionally busts guitar out on his stream. CMDRHughmann, welcome back. How are you tonight, hon?
I'm okay. Not doing too bad. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, it's been a little bit since we've had you on. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, how long you've been streaming, and your favorite sandwich?
Favorite sandwich is definitely probably a foot-long Subway. I'm going to go Italian BMT. Yeah. I've been streaming for exactly the same amount of time as Graham, basically, because we pretty much started Twitch on the same day at the same minute, the same hour, in the same house, on the same computer, playing the same game. So, yeah.
Yep. True story.
GTA 5 PC release. So that's the date. And I've been full-time since about maybe 2 months after I started streaming, maybe 3 months after. And I play Elite Dangerous. I play a lot of PUBG because I'm fucking addicted to it. Play other stuff, random things like Skyrim, new releases. I'm going to start getting back into Planet Coaster after seeing all the cool stuff at the weekend. And plan to play a lot of Jurassic World when it comes out as well. So not much Frontier stuff really, but yeah.
No, we're not friendly with Frontier, or we don't like their games that much.
No. I don't believe you guys for 1 second. We are actually going to talk about Frontier here in just a moment. But before we do, I'm actually not going to be doing a lot of talking on this show. So I have a few things here real quick. First of all, and I'm sure Cuddles will reiterate this at the end of the show, we had our 100th episode 2 weeks ago, and just a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who hung out with us for our almost 8-hour stream, who contributed in some way or another, or just the support you've had over the past 100 episodes. We both really appreciate it. Secondly, I have presents for Dan and Graham. Some of you may know I'm an impulse buyer. And so a while ago I was at Target and I saw this. I'm like, oh, Graham, awesome. This makes me think of him. And then I was at Target the other day and it was on sale. So it was like a sign from the podcasting gods that I had to get it. And I was going to mail it, but then I realized how expensive mailing is to Amsterdam. I'm like, I'm going to mail it to Cuddles and he can give it to you at TwitchCon because that is very efficient. And it's not very big, Cuddles. Cuddles has no idea what I'm doing. But look at how cute it is.
That's my one, right?
No, this is Graham's actually. But it's like when you have two guests on the show, it's like twins. You got to give them both presents. You can't just go to the birthday party and give one. So I had to think, what would go with a unicorn? It has to fly. And this unicorn happens to... No, it's not a laptop. If it was a laptop. No. Well, it has to fly, and instead of shooting rainbows out of it,
is it a phantom drone?
No, it's a dragon one.
Oh, that's...
The dragon one had a tail, which I did not buy, but I might if I can find a unicorn tail. Look at how cute they are.
Those would be expensive to mail to Amsterdam.
I'm going to make you wear that on stage at TwitchCon.
I need pictures. You guys can just wear pictures and burn it, but I
will make him wear that on stage at TwitchCon.
Make who wear?
You.
I'm not wearing it.
You are wearing that on stage at TwitchCon. No. I'm making that happen.
I don't debase or degrade myself on streams.
Yeah, I know you don't.
It's adorable. Look, it has
little
sequins.
After the other night when I got raided and then decided to do karaoke Bohemian Rhapsody with kazoo and guitar.
Yep. You don't degrade yourself, no.
Or singing Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen on my subathon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apparently you're a little quiet. Could you get a little closer to the mic?
Is this better?
Well, I do have Cuddles. Do you want me to open now or later? Did you have a plan?
No, let's go ahead and do it now. For those that don't know, because she's not going to say anything about it, it is actually Terartz's birthday today. So if we could get some love in chat, some happy birthdays, and I'm not entirely putting him on the spot, but maybe if we had somebody that was, that sang things on the show, like somebody could sing happy birthday, because one of my gifts to T is not singing for her. This is something that I gift everyone with every year. You're welcome.
Could you give me a little bit more impetus in? So maybe instead of me just singing "Happy Birthday" like an idiot, maybe you could tell me to try and do it in the style of like a certain singer, or maybe in a certain style. Like maybe I could
reggae.
Try, not reggae, no.
Even better, reggaeton.
What?
Reggaeton.
No.
Oh God.
Okay, I'll say something. Muse.
In the style of Muse.
Yeah.
Oh
And T,
God.
if while he's singing, if you want to grab your gift and open it up.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rods. Happy birthday to you. There you go. That's happy birthday in the style of Muse.
That is the best thing that's ever happened on this
Cuddles.
podcast.
We have to end it now. 101. We're
Yeah,
done. We did it.
It's that. There you go, guys. There's episode 101.
So
We're
just
done. Yep,
we're done.
We're done.
Yep.
We're finished.
It only goes downhill from here.
I
Spoiler
was
alert.
hoping you'd say like Elton John or something. Or...
Well, no, Muse was actually very appropriate because we are a
Because-
Blizzard Entertainment podcast, Muse is going to be performing this year at BlizzCon.
Oh, well,
fucking hell.
well
Really?
I did that well then,
Yep.
didn't I? I
Yeah,
didn't know that. I did that
two
pretty well.
2 weekends after TwitchCon.
Not gonna
So
happen.
TwitchCon, VerseCon, BlizzCon.
New-
That's my life.
Stream goals.
The-
I'd grab a ticket just to go and see Muse.
I imagine they've been sold out for about
Well,
10 months.
here's the thing. A lot of people won't go to the concert, so you can show up. Like, I'm showing up without a ticket. I'm going to just go to the parties and do the panels and the things that I do. And then I will find somebody that's not going to the concert and grab their ticket.
Okay, so Turats has
Good
a
plan,
very
good plan.
interesting looking bag here.
I don't know what it is. I was listening to you guys talk. I was going to open it.
I'm
I
digging
want to see
I'm
what's
digging
in
the bag.
I like the bag. Like, I really, this could be filled with just like an empty box, and I like the bag already.
You can keep the bag. It's yours.
Bag's the gift.
Happy birthday.
The-
Obviously, this is quite difficult for a podcast to know what's going on right now.
okay, so the
It is,
bag's
yes.
very pretty. Is it green? That looks green.
It's grey.
It's green, yeah. And it's got a ribbon, and the ribbon tied it together. And she's undone the ribbon, and she's now taking the item from
It's a
the
tight
bag.
fit. The box is
Um,
really tight in the
And
package.
it's a puppy.
It's, no.
Well, it was 4 days ago.
Was anyway.
Oh my god.
Cuddles.
How appropriate.
Oh, look.
How
I have no idea how to
appropriate.
use it, but I'll figure it
Oh,
out.
look, it's
I
by our
need
friends
help.
at Thrustmaster TM. They
Yeah.
make some of the best hotests in the world.
We totally didn't make friends with them this weekend.
Oh my good lord, that was absolutely perfect. But no, you've been getting into Elite Dangerous and you've been doing the keyboard and mouse thing, and I know that some people do that, but you
Look at
The game
You need a
Case and
HOTAS.
the podcast is not affiliated officially with Thrustmaster, although we'd like to say Thrustmaster makes some fantastic peripherals for the PC.
and
Sorry,
I would like to add to that additionally, Thrustmaster,
Oh my God,
if you're
it's huge.
listening, please, I would love to be affiliated with you. I have over 600 hours on that very same HOTAS.
Commander Hughmann and DJTruthsayer would definitely not like to confirm that we can definitely put you in touch with the people at Thrustmaster.
No, not at all. No.
I'm
They're
gonna
not
help
people
figure
we know
this
now.
out.
I hate having good friends.
Like, this
No,
is
but
huge.
see, I will shoot you over. There's actually a really awesome. I'm gonna have to find it, or if somebody in chat, I know we have some of Graham and
Wait,
Graham and Dan's folks in here. If you guys know of that, there's a JPEG out there that shows like a great setup for the Thrustmaster. If somebody knows where that is, you
these
will
little buttons.
you will immediately get used to it and wonder how you ever played without it.
There's another button here. There's so many buttons, guys. Oh my god.
I love how
And there's
I
a
love
little
how
spinny
you
one.
think, I love how you think there's
That's
lots
a
of
lot of
buttons
buttons.
on that.
That's the-
I'm sitting here in front of a warthog,
Opening
which is
up-
their top one.
Opening up the box on Thrustmaster's My First Joystick TM.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting here. My joystick has more buttons on it than your controller combined.
Yeah,
There's a little red one in the back. It's red.
Trigger, that's one of the most important ones.
I figured that one out. Like I'm
That's the clicky. That's the clicky.
Can you
clicky
punch
shoot
him,
shoot
Graham?
button.
Can you punch him?
Clicky shoot.
I'm buying you the dragon tail. Make him wear the dragon tail up on stage 2.
Oh, yep. Get in the dragon.
Thank you.
tail.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Thank
so-
you. Tons of pictures. Flathead. Thank you. Oh, I don't know what to say. It's so big though. Like I was not expecting it to be this big.
I hear that a lot from the ladies, actually. I really don't.
Just tell
That's
me
a
that
lie.
got quoted.
That's-
Just tell me you have quotes on your channel.
Oh my god.
Do I have a mod around? If somebody wants to, if somebody wants to type that and drop it into Discord, we can most definitely.
Yeah.
That needs to be a
But
quote.
yeah, no, the Thrustmaster are awesome. They make good stuff.
Yeah.
They really do.
And that-
I have.
That
I
is their
personally have-
absolutely entry level,
Yeah.
controller. It is the one, however, that I've used for nearly 700 hours in game and
I
love
have
it.
over 2,000 hours on that stick.
It was
Wow.
interesting. We did actually chat to. There were two guys there from Thrustmaster. One of them was the the sort of the social media relations PR type guy, and the other one was actually a dude that works on mappings and things like that when it comes to like providing support for games. So he actually worked on the mappings for the T16000 for Elite and things like that, trying to work out what the best default keybinds and things would be, playing the game and stuff. So it was quite interesting giving him feedback and talking to him about that. So yeah, interesting, cool guys.
No.
Nice.
Well, let's move on with the show real quick so that I don't cry, because if I'm talking, I can't cry. This episode, guys, is kind of a unique one. When you do a podcast, you get to do episodes about things you want to talk about and find guests to fill that niche. And that is exactly what we're doing today. We are going to talk about conventions and specifically how they play a role in what these three lovely gentlemen do every day for their job, streaming. Now, Dan and Graham, I want you guys to kick it off for me because we've been hinting at it. We've been talking about it. You guys were somewhere this weekend. Graham, why don't you tell us about this? Where were you guys at?
Yep, we were at Frontier Expo, the first ever Frontier Expo, which was basically a one-day event hosted by Frontier Developments, who, if anyone doesn't know that's listening, are the developers behind Elite Dangerous and Planet Coaster and upcoming Jurassic World Evolution, which is coming out next year. So they decided that, as well as going to lots of other hosted conventions like EGX and TwitchCon and PAX and all this stuff, they were going to host their own event in London and basically make a celebration of everything Frontier, pretty much, and invite all community members along and throw a good party at the end of it and invite streamers and just show off their new stuff and kind of just celebrate all the Frontier things, basically. And it was awesome.
It was an astonishing
Very good.
day. It was also one of the most stressful days of my life, but that's mainly because of cancelled flights. Made the decision that I'm no longer ever going to fly in on the day of an event ever again. Not taking that risk ever again.
Yep.
But yeah, I other than getting there late, the day was magical. It was so nice to meet so many people. Got to put a lot of faces to a lot of names. Saw a lot of friends that I've known for a long time as well, which is always nice. And the one thing that really struck me, and it strikes me every time I go to one of these things, is you can be the person who's there as, it's your first time meeting a crowd, or you can be there as someone who's been there, multiple conventions before. And the honest truth is, it doesn't matter. People you just get welcomed in. And I saw it happen so many times throughout the course of the day, where people didn't know each other, started talking, and then 3 hours later, you saw them still wandering around together. And it's so nice to see how welcoming everyone is. And the one message I would like to put out, and sorry for rambling a little bit, but the message I would like to put out is, if you're looking at conventions and you're going, they look so much fun, but you're anxious, you're not sure about going, go. Because when you get there, there'll be that brief anxiety at the beginning, and it will be scary. It will be hard. But that will all get washed away, and you will make memories that you will take with you for the rest of your life. You really will.
Yeah, it's
Right on.
there's something, if I can add to that just slightly. There's something magical about one of my favorite authors wrote a book about tribes and finding your tribe. Going to a convention, even if you don't know anyone, you know all of these people. You immediately you're at Frontier Expo. You don't know somebody, walk up to them and ask them which one of the games they play. You immediately have something in common.
It doesn't matter. You've already got, just by being at that event, you've already got common ground. It's the same as going to your favorite band's gig. Like, you can sense a friendly atmosphere because everybody's there with common purpose, and everyone forgets their problems or differences, or whether this guy's gay or straight or black or white or whatever, because you're all there because you fucking love these guys, and you can all agree on that, so everybody's happy and having a good time. And yeah, video games kind of do the same thing, really, I think, a lot of the time. So yeah, TwitchCon last year was the best time I've ever had away, hands down. It was incredible. And I had post-con blues for about 3 months afterwards. And even went on sort of Google Maps and sort of like retraced my steps like a month or two later and went, that's Fifth Avenue, and there's the hotel, and I walked down here to the Omni, and that's where we had drinks with Steve and Lynn from Twitch, and then that's where we went, and it's like, it was really nice, and the weather was nice, and it was awesome. But yeah, a lot of people have, especially people who watch Twitch, people who maybe a little introverted or sort of get social anxiety and stuff, get panic attacks just thinking about going to something where there's 40,000 people. But it's not that bad, and you can always find somewhere quiet as well, is what I've said to people that have said, I really want to go to like TwitchCon, but I think I'd just collapse with all the people and busy and noise and things like that. Like, well, you can always find an avenue with a bar in it or a restaurant and go and chill. Like, you don't have to be in amongst it. You can get out anytime, and
or
a lot
grab
of the time, once you're there actually enjoying yourself, you kind of forget the anxiety side of it and just sort of have fun. But
or grab someone, like, really grab somebody that you've met, grab one of your favorite streamers. I can tell you right now, if you walked up to one of these guys or myself, I guarantee, and was like, hey, I'm having a moment, I need to go, we'll help you.
The chances are it'd be me that'd be having the moment. Honestly, the amount of anxiety attacks I had at PAX, the actual Boston wasn't too bad, but New York, I had tons of, I was really bad.
Yep.
Anxiety, I was really bad.
Yeah. It was quite strange because before we went to PAX, I was fine and Dan was struggling. We got back from PAX and it flipped. You were absolutely calm and cool about the whole flights being cancelled.
Yeah.
And
You got proper...
Yeah, I got really panicky and really anxious about it. And it was really, like, looking back on it, it was quite strange how we flipped completely. Once we'd done the con, Dan got back to New York and was just...
That's because we were in like a... Yeah. I was chilled.
Fine. Whereas I got back and I was like a caged animal. I was pacing and yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. I wasn't too bad at the actual convention because we were busy.
Yeah.
Actually, it was New York. New York did it. And that was just a weird scale thing. My brain, because I sit indoors most of the time looking at a computer at a close scale and usually in a small room, from doing that for months and months and months, like a year or so, and then going to somewhere like New York where everything's 1,000 feet tall, like literally just fuse went in the brain and just went, no, this is wrong. Everything's too big. Time to panic. But yeah, I mean, yesterday was fantastic. And yeah, we got to meet a bunch of awesome people and sort of hook up with some other people, and there were a few industry people there, which was awesome, and we got to meet a few streamers that we hadn't met before. One dude that I was looking forward to saying hi to that I'd never met but had kind of passingly been on in a stream stuff was I Am Spoon, a guy called Sam. He's been on Twitch for forever. And it was nice to meet him. He was a really, really nice guy. Like, really kind of like quiet, but yeah, really, really nice dude. So it was cool to meet him. And yeah, a lot of people flew over as well. Like I was saying, DJ Knight and Baron and Daz Valdez, and yeah, tons of people came over. Yeah, which was really cool. So hang out with them for a bit.
A lot of people in the Planet Coaster community, but one of the Planet Coaster community guys came from Japan. He's studying in Japan, and he flew over from Japan for Frexpo.
Wow.
And what's his name? Flew over from Aussie, didn't he?
Flabaliki flew in from Australia.
That's like a 24-hour flight.
Scott Manley came in from San Francisco. You know, people were coming considerable distances to be at this event.
I got on the train for 40 miles. It was an effort. We had to get on a bus and a train.
I got on a plane and like I kid you not, the flight between the Netherlands and the UK is so, like, Dan's experienced it now. It's hilarious.
It's 40 minutes. It's nothing.
They don't really have time to get the drinks trolley all the way along the plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It felt to me, because I played flight sims and I kind of know the sound and things of when planes are doing what they're doing. And it was like the plane went up, turned a bit up, and it was like, and we're coming back down. And we come again. Like, freaking point. It's just, you might as well go all the way up and just fling everyone out midair, and they probably land in the Netherlands.
Well, we know the social aspects of convention hold a lot to why you guys go, but I want to talk about Fantasticon. What kind of announcements did they have?
It wasn't Fantasticon.
Oh, this was
Frontier Expo.
Fantasticon.
Fantasticon is another convention. If it's all right, we will come back to in a bit, because that's something different and awesome. Yeah. But not this. This was Frontier Expo.
Yep.
As for announcements, oh my. Just oh my. So they've got 2 games out at the moment and one that they've talked about that they're developing. They have Planet Coaster, Elite Dangerous, and Jurassic World. So Planet Coaster, if you don't know it, is a theme park building game, but in reality is essentially digital Lego. The amount of customization you can do in that game is terrifying.
It's ridiculous.
YouTube becomes a serious black hole if you go on there and start looking at the community creations, because you click on one and you're like, oh my good God. And then it's like, up next, there's this one. You're like, oh, that looks interesting. And before you know it, you've spent 12 hours watching roller coasters that are set in James Bond and
someone that's basically created Hogwarts in Planet Coaster.
Yep.
You know,
it's insane. Then they have Elite Dangerous, which is my main game as far as streaming is concerned. Cuddle streams it, obviously. Turarts has been playing it. Dan also plays it an awful lot. Elite Dangerous is a space sim where you fly around in spaceships in a 1-to-1 recreation of the Milky Way. That explains everything about it and nothing at all about it. It is a game that, if you allow it to, can absorb you. It really, really can.
That seems to be a running theme in all of Frontier's games, to be honest.
Yes, they're good at digital
they
crack.
Make games that you can play for a long time.
Yep.
I mean, you could easily get, if you liked both of those games, Planet Coaster and Elite could pretty much do you for,
gaming.
That's it. That's all you need.
Elite Dangerous is my life. It's a huge part of my life. I owe my career to it. I have made most of the people that I consider my best friends, other than Dan, who I met at my wedding, which is a strange story, but most of my best friends in the world I've met through Elite Dangerous, or Twitch, and they've then generally either become part of Elite Dangerous, or I've met them because of Twitch and Elite, and then now they're working on Jurassic Park Evolution, which
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World Evolution, sorry. Which, and I'd like to talk to you guys about this one, interestingly, because you're all fans of Blizzard, who obviously now they're with Activision, yes, but before, and even though they're with Activision, realistically, Blizzard's an independent developer. They do what they want, yeah.
Very much so.
And Frontier are the same. Now, Frontier aren't in Blizzard's league. Yeah, that's just fact at the moment. But Jurassic World Evolution is giving them the opportunity to put a game in front of so many more people than their current games allow them. And with the quality that they put into everything they do, I genuinely think this is when we're going to see Frontier going from being a AA developer that makes AAA games to a certified, everyone accepts, yeah, right, Frontier are just full-on AAA developer. They're big guys in the industry now, you know? And to be honest, Frexpo, Frontier Expo, is part of that. How many independent developers can throw their own expo where 1,500, 2,000 people turn up?
Yeah, there's not many, are there?
No.
Like, you don't get a lot of game-specific or developer-specific conventions. You got the Blizzard one. You have a Warframe does TennoCon. I can't really think of that many, to be honest.
Yeah, we have Guardian Con, but that's community run.
Yeah,
that's not Bungie.
Like, Call of Duty Con, does it, or Battlefield Con, or you don't have. There's no, I wouldn't be surprised if PUBG start doing one at some point.
I think Paradox do one.
Oh, Paradox. Okay, that's interesting.
Similar situation though.
Yeah,
they're at the top of that. They're at the top of their game.
Yeah. No, I think give FDev another 10 years and they might be at the same place that Blizzard are.
Yeah.
When they've got another 3 or 4 games out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that they're going to do their own convention, assuming that they're going to do it every year as well, at least once a year. Bringing the right people together and to sort of network as well is pretty useful, and it's really helpful. TwitchCon's great, and EGX and PAX and things like that, they're really good. But one of the things I think it was Adam Wood said, who's one of the lead guys at Frontier, or it might have been one of the other devs, but the FDev one is really focused. So it's a really good way, at least for streamers and stuff that were there, to connect with the community as well. Whereas if we go to TwitchCon, there are going to be people there that we know, but it's not going to be very focused, and it's going to be very, everyone's doing everything. Whereas at this sort of thing, the people that stream their games and love their games can connect with that community specifically, rather than it being a big, wide sort of berth of people.
And both are valuable. It has to be said. Both a convention like TwitchCon or PAX or something like that, or something like Frexpo, both are valuable. If you're looking at this as a streamer, someone who wants to stream full time, overlook nothing. The most important connections Dan and I made when we started out were made at a convention for a science fiction and fantasy book publisher.
Game Destroyer. There is an Eve. It's Eve Fest or something like that. There's a CCP. They do it in Iceland, I think.
I know they're in Vegas this year.
Are they Vegas? Oh, jeez! Wow, they moved up in the world. I think they used to do it in Iceland because that's
where they're based.
Are, isn't it?
Yeah. They're based in Reykjavik.
Yeah. But yeah, go like that. In terms of going to conventions and which ones should you go to? Go to every convention you can afford to go to.
Yep.
Yes,
definitely. If you can afford to go to any of them, go to them.
Yep.
Because they are worth more than the money you pay to go to them.
Although we've got completely off track, because originally the question was, what did they announce? And we've just completely...
It's fine.
Well, hold on. I can TLDR it, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Elite Dangerous is now free to play. You should rage and hate Frontier. And the world is coming to an end.
It's not free to play.
Not free to play.
That was
not free.
By the way, that was intentionally facetious. And
okay.
And
news.
this is not. Yeah, no.
It's free. It's free to complain.
Yeah, which yeah.
That was good.
So okay. The too long didn't read on features for of what was announced. Essentially, Planet Coaster is getting a giant free update, which the headline feature of which is picnic tables. Genuinely, like I'm not even joking, and it's one of those things where I think those that don't play the game don't really get it. But when they announced picnic tables at Frontier Expo, it got the loudest cheer of the damn night.
Yeah,
I kid you
really
not.
Picnic tables in the staff room. For your staff in Planet Coaster.
In Planet Coaster, just so popular in that community. They went, and it's with the picnic tables. It seems to be that they've actually in games previously where they put things like that in, they've been cosmetic. People will sit at them, but they're not sitting there to eat. Frontier have actually gone out their way. People will sit down and put their food on the table, and they'll sit and eat their food. Yeah, and so I get kind of why they like it. It's adding another layer of depth.
It's just a nice fix because up until now, I would imagine that people making theme parks would just be sick of everyone walking around with a burger in their hands and then just throwing the wrapper on the floor.
Yep.
So it's probably just a solution to not having to employ loads of the janitor dudes in the game.
Yeah.
But that got
massive, huge
massive cheers.
But the headline feature is a scenario editor for Planet Coaster. Then Elite Dangerous, they announced a year's roadmap, their entire roadmap for 2018.
And all free.
And all of it is free to anyone who owns the Horizons expansion. So if you bought the expansion, which has already been out for 2 years, you now get a third year of content for free.
Is it 2 years?
Yeah.
Horizon's been out for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been playing for nearly 2 years.
Done 3 years worth of expansions for the price of basically one expansion.
Yeah.
But doesn't that mean that the content's going to be totally crap because we're not paying for it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
right. Moving swiftly on.
Yeah.
The headline announcement though is Squadrons, and it's incredible and it's wonderful and it's something we wanted desperately. Because basically it's giving us what you guys have got in World of Warcraft, guilds and clans and things like that.
Tools.
And we get a spaceship as a group that you get a carrier, like a fleet carrier, which we'll be able to dock with and rearm and repair and respawn at. And we get to move it about and choose where it lives. And basically it's going to add a huge extra layer of depth to the game and something that we're terribly, terribly excited about. There's also a whole suite of quality of life enhancements coming. Mm-hmm. The planets, all of the planets are getting a makeover. And when I say all of the planets, please, like we're talking in particular the non-atmospheric worlds. We're talking over a quintillion planets, and they're all getting a facelift.
Yeah, not one by one, but
Yeah.
One at a time. They have one developer working on it in MS Paint.
Yeah. Just
to be fair, the thing that I was most impressed by reveal-wise in the thing, and the thing that I found the most exciting wasn't any Elite stuff. It was Jurassic World.
That was
the most impressive thing that I saw from Frontier.
The gameplay footage of Jurassic World is, to pun, out of this world.
We were in the little posh VIP room watching all of it on a TV big screen. And Graham was sat kind of a bit in front of me on a beanbag, and I was sat on a little sofa thing. And about every 20 seconds during a 4-minute video of Jurassic World footage, you were just looking around at me, and I was looking at you, and you were just going.
Yep, just proper mouth open. What?
And there's me going.
The level of detail on the dinosaurs. And the way that they have animated these things in alpha. This is alpha footage that they have displayed, and it is. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on Frontier Development's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Frontier Development.
Brilliant.
Go watch it. Just go and watch it. Pause this podcast. Go and watch it. Trust me. And then come back, and then you're going to go, "Holy good God, DJ, you were right," because the level of detail and fidelity in these animations on these dinosaurs for a strategy game where you're going to be looking at things from quite a distance. The level of detail they've gone into is frontier.
It's insane.
It's frontier levels of detail. They're ridiculous, and they're doing it again.
They basically got Universal to send them the CGI meshes for the dinosaurs that are in the films, and then kind of low polyed them a little bit and put them into the game. So they are basically the dinosaurs from the films, and they look like them. In particular, the raptors, the way they've animated the raptors, they move in that pack sort of formation, and the way they run, and even the eyes like kind of dart around and kind of like
you can see them sniffing. It's a strategy game, and you can see the dinosaurs sniffing.
Yeah, so that was the most exciting thing to come out of Frexpo for me. But yeah,
and that's not saying anything negative about any of the other stuff shown either. No. It's not like you're sitting there going, "Oh, well, yeah, that was great, but there was this that was." To be honest with you, when they came out and did their main demonstration, when you're doing an expo like that, you need to knock it out the park. Mm. Yeah, that's what you need to do, right? And Frontier basically just went, right, what we're going to do is we're going to sit here and we're just going to go.
Yeah.
And they did. For an hour and a half, they just went from one level of hype to another, to another, to another. And to watch a developer do that, and especially Dan and I are lucky enough that a lot of the people at that company are now friends. They're people who we know very well. Mm. And to be blunt, to see your friends do that is something else. You're so proud and so happy for them.
I think that's like a good bit of advice for anyone that's wants to get into content creation or streaming on YouTube videos, is get to know the people that make the game that you really love. Like, even if you can do it on a small scale, like even if you go to a convention and they're there with their game, tell them that you love it and show them that you really enjoy it, and they're probably going to be more inclined to work with you if you can show enthusiasm, and just be really kind of like, straight up about it.
It's amazing how being positive about something that someone puts their heart and soul into means that they're more likely to want to work with you.
Yeah, if I may interject on that, TwitchCon last year, I'm a gigantic Elite Dangerous fan, and specifically of their community management team. I happened to see Ed Lewis, one of their community managers, walking outside TwitchCon. I stopped him, like literally fanboyed out. Was like, Ed, you are absolutely one of my most favorite people ever. I love what you're doing. Keep it up. Keep bringing us more content. It's incredible. It's amazing. Can I have a picture with you, please? And that turned into, I bumped into him later in the day, and we talked a little bit more. And then at the next convention, we talked a little bit more. For those that are unfamiliar with my stream, compared to these two guys, and there's no comparison, Twitch is your own thing. But compared to these two guys, I is baby streamer, like extreme babby streamer. I was invited by them to stream at PAX East from their booth. That was not because of my massive and amazing like Twitch following. That was because I had made a personal connection with them. They liked what I was doing, and we've genuinely, I consider Ed and Bo to be friends. I walked in, Frontier had a party at PAX West, and I did not get an invite, but I got a DM from Ed saying, "Hey, stop by the party." I walked in, and Bo is working the guest list. And I presume that I'm going to walk in and have to explain to her who I am, show her the message from Ed.
Yeah.
And I was like actually going to enjoy this. I was like, oh, I'm going to have some fun with Bo. I made it 3 steps in the door before Bo literally jumped up and down, ran out from behind the table, and came and gave me a giant hug.
Yeah.
that is, again, I am not the world's largest Elite Dangerous streamer that they should get overly excited.
She's also, it should be pointed out, the Planet Coaster community manager.
Yes.
Not the Elite Dangerous. So actually knowing you is nothing to do with her job at all.
That's just being...
Indeed. And
good Frontier employee, really.
Yep.
I mean, that happened the same to me yesterday because I bought a ticket, but I feel like I probably didn't need to buy a ticket for the expo because I got to the venue and there was a queue already forming for people to come in, but I'd been told just go to the whatever the VIP entrance is, which was just the entrance. But I went to the security guy and said, "Oh, hi, I'm here. I'm looking for the wherever you go in if you're streaming or content creator or whatever." And I just spied Bo at the reception about 50 feet away inside the building, and she just spotted me and just waved, and I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." There she is, and just walked in and just like did the thing. And it's like, you know, it's kind of privileged stuff to be able to do that, and at this point be so friendly with those guys that you don't even give a second thought to, can I get into this event? It's not even, you don't even think about it. You're just like, well, obviously we're going. Obviously we've got a ticket to that. You know, it's not an entitlement, but it's something that you just not take for granted necessarily, but you sort of feel like you're
part
there
of
now.
your
It's
life.
like, you know, you just sort of don't think on the other level anymore. It's like,
you don't question it.
It's like saying to your friend, "Do you want to come to an event?" rather than a kind of a colleague or a you know, an acquaintance, a business acquaintance.
And that's what I think it was. It was the night after the Frontier party. I got a DM from Bo saying, "Hey, do you want to go to dinner?" And like 10 of us went to dinner.
Yeah.
And it's, as we're talking kind of overarching, talking about conventions, again, this is not my standing. This is not something that this was not an invitation in order to ply me to do incredible and amazing things for Planet Coaster, because quite frankly, they don't need me. They're doing amazing things on their own. This was making a friend. And that's the power of conventions, is making that personal connection.
I think more and more though,
friends.
I think more and more developers and hardware manufacturers and you know, companies and things like that realize that there's more value in smaller streamers and YouTubers. And when I say smaller, that could mean anything really, but they're realizing that it's not just, oh, we need to find someone that's got 100,000 followers. Oh, we need to find someone that's doing this. Because if you've got someone like Graham, who's really like unbelievably passionate about FDev, if you compare him, who streams Elite every night at 6 o'clock on the dot, to, you know, anywhere between 100 and 200 odd viewers every night of the week, is just as valuable as the one big streamer that they can convince to play Elite once in the blue moon, who probably isn't really talking about it with the same kind of conviction. So, you know, so I think they're starting to realize that the small to medium guys are actually just as valuable because they're more enthusiastic and probably more genuine, you know, with their sort of, you know, streams and stuff. Which is cool.
And Villain, someone in your chat, Villains for Hires, just said about developing those personal relationships seems more impactful than the large influencer networks.
Yep.
Secret about the large influencer networks, they don't tend to work. Secret to any influencer network, they only give you what you put back into them. And that's true with any networking. You know, you go and meet someone at one of these conventions and then never speak to them again, then what have you done? You have to then make the effort afterwards to keep in contact with them. You have to make sure that, you know, they put something funny up on Twitter, reply, say something. If something's coming, if you're doing an event and something's coming up, you know, I mean, Jesus, if you're doing a charity event, reach out to the company that make the game that you play. Yeah. Reach out to them, go, I'm doing a charity event. Is there any way you can help out, even if it's just some codes for some aesthetic stuff, a little bit of hyping, whatever, anything. Yeah. You let a company know that you're doing charity events with their product, they're going to like you. I can promise you that, because that's all good. There's no negative there. So yeah, I really would. You can't underestimate
the funny thing is because I was in like doing music and music biz stuff before I did Twitch, and a lot of it actually kind of applies in the same way. A lot of music deals and like networking stuff is done down the pub.
Yep.
Over 4 or 5 pints and a couple of cigarettes or a cigar or something. And the same goes for conventions and things like that. You can go around giving out business cards and things, which is cool and fine and everything. Most of the business cards you give to companies will get thrown in the bin or lost in a drawer or something. But if you actually see someone that you saw at the convention on the day that you know, oh, that's the guy that was at the, he was at the Zotac place where they were doing those cool graphics cards or those cool like ITX builds or something. I'm going to go over and buy him a drink and try and say hi. That's more, that guy's going to remember you more for going up and like actually reaching out on a personal level and saying, hey, good job at the, you know, really enjoyed the show today and you guys were doing a good job and can I buy you a drink and what you're up to tonight and what's your plans for the rest of the, you know, you kind of have to get invested. You can't just give a business card out and go, oh, well, you know, give us some free stuff sometime maybe.
Yeah. I had somebody at the Acer party that I had already given him a business card.
That was I'm literally wearing the Acer party hoodie right now.
Yes!
That party was fucking legendary.
I met someone outside and shared a smoke with him and made like that 10 minutes of conversation compared to the 20 minutes that I spent with him on the con floor meant exponentially more. And he is now somebody that I regularly converse with. He's somebody that if I need something, I email him. He's there. The same way that I know you guys are with Zach and Ed and Bo, and these connections are so important.
One of the best connections I made at that party, with one of the guys that helps run Triple Point PR.
That's actually exactly who I was talking about.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Because it was the three of us standing outside smoking.
Yep. And yeah, I hate to say it because I don't advocate smoking, despite being a smoker. It's a filthy habit. Don't do it. But I do hate to say it, but 9 out of 10 of the best connections and people that I've made friends with at events have been made whilst outside having a cigarette.
Yeah.
That is a horrible and honest truth. To the point that even if you don't smoke,
pretend.
Vape. Get zero nicotine vape.
You can still stand outside and talk to people.
Yeah, it can be worth hanging out where people smoke.
You can still, you know.
Yeah, it because.
But at least buying someone a drink or just you know, approaching someone on a more human level than just, hi, I am content creator, you are business person. Here's my card.
I know another 1,000 people are going to do the same thing to you.
Exactly. So yeah, they're invaluable. Conventions are invaluable.
Yeah,
we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but I want to go a little bit more in depth. You guys, especially Cuddles, I know his schedule. You guys all have been to at least a couple conventions. How important of a role do they play in your guys' job in streaming?
Dan and I would not be professional streamers if we had not gone to Dan and I would not have grown as fast as we did had we not gone to a piddly little convention belonging to a science fiction and fantasy book publisher in the north of England on a whim. We decided to go, 2-3 days beforehand?
Yeah, it was last minute. It was really last minute. Yeah.
Right. And we went up to Hull. We drove up to Hull for this convention, and we were nothing as far as streamers go. Yeah. And by the end of the first night, we were getting drunk with a BBC reporter and some of the biggest streamers of Elite Dangerous at the time. And we were taken in by them completely, and we got some good advice that weekend. And afterwards, as you do with friends, hosts came in every now and then.
It's kind of, I mean, you can really simplify it down to just like make lots of friends, and the friends that can help you will help you, and then you help out the people that you can help out.
Exactly.
And then they do that, and they tell 2 friends, and they tell 2 friends, and they tell some friends, and they tell some, and that's how it works.
Yep.
Like, you know, and if you're lucky, someone who's a bit higher up than you can give you a bit of a handout or a bit of a push up a little bit, and then you try and pull some more people with you.
Yeah.
And then all of you together have got more power to pull some more people up with you. And you know, that's how that's gone over the last couple of years, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I was the first one out of our group to get the partner thing, and then you got it, and then we worked to try and help Malik get it, and he's now doing ridiculously well. You know, obviously we helped him a lot, but he doesn't need our help anymore.
Nope.
At all. You know, in fact, I think he could probably help us.
Yeah, he is. He helps me loads. Like, I get huge rates off of him. It's lovely.
So yeah, it's, you know, and now we're like, you know, for the last month or so we've been all who's next. And a lot of that is from people that you meet at these conventions and form friendships and stuff. I'm friends with so many other streamers that I kind of met a bit on Twitch through other people, and then when I met them at TwitchCon, that kind of like made it, you know, like a solid thing. And just, you know, you just made really good friends with people properly, and then you meet them again, and then you carry on that way.
Yeah. There's some people that you will meet that will be other streamers.
Mm.
And then there are some people that you're going to meet that you're naturally going to just become friends with.
Yeah.
These 2 guys, I count you guys as friends. You happen to also be streamers, but we're friends.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There's a couple of people that I knew that didn't really know until I met last year at TwitchCon. I don't know if you know Animated Break, Richard. Do you know Animated Break at all?
I do not. It sounds like somebody I need to know.
He's a really, really awesome dude. And there was another guy called Joe the Miz. He's an awesome streamer. And I kind of knew Animated Break, and I met him, and I met Joe, and we just, most of TwitchCon last year, we spent TwitchCon like half of it together, because we just, like, straight away, and it was almost like we'd known each other for years. Like the way we just like were rocking around and just going here, let's go here, we're back to the hotel, have a bit of drink, and we just hit it off like straight away. And that was the same with a couple of other people as well, and it kind of just it just felt really, really natural to hang around with them. But I think there's, like you were saying the same thing earlier, like everyone's got a common purpose, so everyone's in a more positive, receptive mood anyway. When you go to something like a convention, everyone's happy to see everyone else, mostly. So I think it makes it easier to actually sort of socialize and make new connections and stuff like that. But I couldn't imagine not going to any. Like, that's unthinkable.
Although
totally.
There was something said in Cuddles' chat recently. I've seen some streamers, it was Tiber, aka Tiber. I've seen some streamers significantly disrupt their channel attending conventions. Isn't there some downside to that?
Do you mean disrupt as in like lose traction?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've dropped like a few subs being away from my proper stream for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But that just goes with the territory, really. You have to be prepared to do that. But also, if you get in early, you can generally stream from conventions. Also, you've got new tools now with the Twitch app or mobile. You can literally just mobile stream, IRL stream, and do that sort of stuff. All you need to do is make sure you buy a battery pack and have some Wi-Fi or 4G, LTE connection, and you can just IRL stream while you're at a convention. But to be honest, as long as you're not taking weeks off, it shouldn't really impact that much. I don't like to spend more than maybe 2 days, 3 days tops without streaming. I only generally take 1 full day off a week. So yeah, to go away for a week, like TwitchCon is a week away, but I will be streaming from TwitchCon wherever I can. on the convention floor from wherever I can, and I'll be IRL as well. So, but it's still worth it.
Whereas I'm actually taking my first holiday since starting streaming. And I'm taking my wife and I are going to arrive a week before TwitchCon, and I'm actually having a week off, which I'm terrified about. But I think it will do me the world of good. I think I need to. I think that every human needs to recharge their batteries from time to time, and I've gotten to the point where I actually need to do that. And so we're going to go for it, and I am terrified about it, and I am scared, but I'm hoping that I'm quite convinced that my community have actually been shouting at me and telling me not to worry about it, and
also, it depends on the sort of channel you run and the sort of viewers you pick up and the sort of games you play as well. Some people are quite fickle and will sub to you because they liked one stream and then not again because you haven't played that game for a week or something, which is fair enough. And then some people will always be there as much as they can until they literally can't anymore. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, at the end of the day, it's a long-term, Twitch is a long-term thing. Building the actual career side of it and the money side of it, like if that's what you can do in terms of subs and stuff, it's a marathon. It's not like And if people are going to stop supporting you because you've taken a week off, then maybe they're not the sort of people you want around long-term anyway, you know? But and also, what will happen is if you don't take time off and you don't take a day off, you'll end up just getting sick and not being able to do your job properly anyway. So,
there's this weird curve for those that aren't because we're having very much a streamer conversation. For those that aren't content creators, there's something that you may not understand about whomever it is that you watch. We all, in some form or fashion, and in varying degrees, stress out about how much we're online, how often we stream, and oh my gosh, if I don't stream today, what does that mean? If I need to I need to go on an hour late today because real life stuff, what is that going to do to me? I need to take next week off? You want to be online as much as you can, but then at the same time, mentally, physically, real lifely, you have to do things that aren't streaming. I think if we all could, in a perfect world, we would all probably be streaming 18 hours a day, every day. And then somehow our chores and our errands and our mental health would somehow get taken care of. But that's not how life works. And taking time off for a con, yes, you might lose a few subs, but I guarantee the connections and the things that will happen for you at these conventions are going to be, in the short term, you might feel a hit, but in the long term, you're going to see your growth. Just like these guys said, that Fantasticon was a pivot point for them. For me,
TwitchCon last year was for me as well. TwitchCon definitely was.
That was your second one, wasn't it?
Yeah, massively TwitchCon.
Yep. PAX East 2 years ago for me, meeting Stack Up, and for those that know me, now I actually work in the video games industry. Mm-hmm. I get a paycheck for hanging out with these guys. There's a lot more to it than that, but I get paid to hang out on Twitch because I went to PAX East, because I met Stack Up, because I started volunteering for them, and that is really more than anything that I've done, other than the relationships that I've made and the support from other streamers. That was a real, that was a breaking point for me of something that happened that has totally changed my world. So getting to these conventions, just take the hit. If you lose a few subs,
at the same time.
Take it.
It's a break at the same time. It's work and it's a break. It's the same. You're working, but you're not. It's kind of a bit of both. You're still doing your job, but just in a different way.
Indeed.
But it's definitely worth it. And the thing that I like about TwitchCon, at least from the one that I went to last year anyway, is that PAX is awesome. PAX is very lots of games companies, lots of hardware and all that sort of stuff. Not quite social, but TwitchCon, you come back from TwitchCon wanting to stream better. Literally, it's inspiring because you're there and you're seeing people up on the main stages, which we're actually going to be on the main stage this year.
Terrifying.
We're going to be on the main stage of TwitchCon this year, which is fucking crazy.
And that might be your fault a bit, Cuddles.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the amazing things, because I want to throw this out there. I met these two gentlemen. I met Dan at TwitchCon last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met Graham at PAX East this year.
Yeah.
These two guys have done more to help me out than probably any two other individuals on Twitch. Be it advice, be it late night conversations, hosts, raids, hanging out, giving me advice. And then in this very small way, I was able to, when we had the opportunity with Stack Up to do some Tiltify stuff this year on the main stage at PAX, they were like, "Oh, we need a jingle guy." I was like, "Dan." Literally, Steve didn't get. I'll give you guys some background. We were in a Stack Up meeting, and he's like, "We're gonna." And this is for those that know Steve. This is gonna be very Steve. This is gonna be my best impression. Please don't anybody send this to him. So we have this thing, and we're doing some sort of charity decathlon thing, and I don't know. We need somebody to do a jingle and some music, guys. And I cut him off, which you don't do, by the way. And I was like, "Steve, Dan, done. And he's like, "We need this, and this." I was like, "All right, this guy, DJTruthsayer." I think it was about a week before you had introduced me to Resurrection Fern, and we needed somebody as a musical act. I was like, "Resurrection Fern, done." Her rendition of Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy.
And the funny thing about that is you messaged me about it, and I immediately jumped into the thing. And by the time you'd said about Resurrection Fern in the background, I'd messaged Steve going, "Fucking Resurrection Fern, dude. Just put her on stage. Just do it."
Mm-hmm. And she is honestly, she's become a part of my family's life. Yeah. She sings Jolene probably 3 or 4 nights a week to my child before he goes to sleep. It's incredible, and these are the convention type connections that you make.
Yeah, I think going to them is quite inspiring, especially when you see other streamers that you might look up to, or big streamers that are just wandering around or doing things, and you're like, "Well, shit, I would do that. I can go back home and be better."
It's also incredibly humbling when you meet someone who does watch your stream.
I've had to learn. It's easy to do it when you're streaming. Say thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you, appreciate it on stream. It's easier to do it, but when you get in person, and I'm not really. Maybe a lot of my stream know this anyway because I talk about it a lot, but I am not got a lot of confidence. I am very not a self-confident person. I don't think much of myself at all. I don't think it's a confidence thing actually, because I've got enough confidence to get on and just do whatever. But it's a self-esteem thing. I don't value myself much. So when someone actually flags me down, like at Frexpo, it happened a couple of times, and one of the people that watches me says, "Watch you from work," and he was so genuinely nice and what you do with the music and what you do with stuff is just really great, and I really think that you do amazing streams. And I'm just standing there going, Well, thanks. I appreciate that. But I don't really know what to say because it's, I don't know. And people like just, and I don't know how to. There's no conversation to make out of it. So it's weird.
But
it's
really
weird.
Humbling, and it's incredible to. As Dan says, people say it in Twitch chat, and it means a lot when people do. Don't get me wrong.
It's easier to respond to it though, and just carry on with your stream because you're doing something.
And because you're in the flow and everything. When someone comes up to you in real life and they want to thank you and you're like, dude, I waffle on the internet.
I'm just a ridiculous person that goes on the internet and plays games and talks about stuff.
I have to admit, at Frontier Expo, I have multiple members of the Frontier staff do that to me, and that was mind-boggling. To have people from the company of the game you play say that sort.
Well, my what the fuck moment of the day yesterday was having the guy from Frostmaster come over. Like, he approached me. Usually at conventions, you go up to the hardware guys, give them a business card and start chatting and try and get a rapport going and say, well, I do this and this and here's my channel and I'd love to get involved. And dude from Frostmaster comes over to me while I'm setting up to stream and like introduces himself. Hi, I'm from Frostmaster and here's my card and I've looked at your channel and I've watched content and I really like what you're doing and we really want to work with you, and if you want a HOTAS, we're going to give you one, and like this, and it's wow, Jesus Christ, okay. I was sort of sat there and he was standing, like he'd come over to me and I'm still sat in a chair just going, okay, that sounds cool, but like, oh, okay, well, wow, all right. Because you don't expect it from a big company like that.
That is glorious.
You're thinking, well, shit, why are you not talking to I Am Spoon with a couple of 100,000 followers and dude over here who gets a couple of thousand viewers and, these guys, because they're the big guys. But,
yeah,
it's like crazy sometimes when that stuff happens. So yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It is weird. It's really weird. And I don't think, I don't know whether it depends what your personality type is, but I think for certain personality types and for people like me and you, I don't think that would ever sink in properly. Even if we got to the point in, say, 2-3 years down the line, we're both, a lot bigger than we are at the moment and managed to somehow get up to a couple of thousand viewers or managed to get up to that higher tier or something. I'd still be sitting there going, I don't know why you guys are here. This is fucking ridiculous. What is this nonsense? This is weird.
Why me?
And I still would be talking to people at conventions who are like, oh, watch your streams, love it. You get thousands of views, it's brilliant. I'd still be going, no.
Now, Turach, you were trying to say something. I saw it.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was just going to ask, because we've been touching base on TwitchCon, and something I wanted to ask was, does this convention differ from other conventions at all? You kind of mentioned the social aspect compared to East, but are there other things that kind of make it unique in its own aspect?
Well, it's all about Twitch, and Twitch is the platform that we live, basically. So everything that happens at TwitchCon is relevant. More or less.
Much like how Frontier Expo is very focused on Frontier's products, Twitch is obviously very focused on Twitch.
Yeah.
Which it has the similar sort of positives to Frontier Expo, but instead of it being about Frontier creators, panels, it's Twitch.
Big reveals. They always have a really big keynote where they save all their most exciting announcements for the platform and upgrades and things that they're bringing out, new features and stuff, which is really exciting. It's the largest. You won't find a bigger collection of streamers, and probably more specifically Twitch partners as well at any other convention. Which although we've got the affiliate program and affiliates are now can get sub and things like that, which is fantastic. It's brilliant. It's still useful to have a convention where you do get a large proportion of the different tiers of people, streamers and things like that. So yeah, because it's much more focused on just Twitch as a platform, that's what makes it my favorite convention still of anything I've been to. PAX was great, Fantasticon's great. As much as I love the Frontier stuff and things like that, TwitchCon is the best convention to go to as a streamer, hands down. Like, if you can only afford one convention, go to TwitchCon. Like, no question. You'll have the best time.
We had touched on something earlier about like the game specific conventions, and you find yourself around your like very much like for those of you that have followed us the podcast for a while, and those of you that are Blizzard fans, if you've been to BlizzCon, you know what that means. It's immediately family. You're walking up to somebody and going, Alliance or Horde, and what guild, what server, like it all clicks, and that is very much the feeling at TwitchCon. A large majority, I don't want to say that. There is a lot of broadcasters there. It's not a majority of folks. I think this year, as far as partners, there's, not that I have a spreadsheet, but 1,786 partners advertised.
1,500 odd or 60, something like
1,786.
that.
Again,
which is a lot, but at the end
not
of the,
that I have a spreadsheet.
The funny thing about that, though, is you say there's like 1,700 partners going. Between our social networks that we know, we're probably going to know about a third of them.
Oh, definitely. Or know the next guy that knows them.
And probably a good couple of hundred on a fairly friendly basis, like easily, like 100 or so.
And so it's that as large as Twitch is, and I think the last stat that I saw was 2.4 million people went live on Twitch in the last 30 days. That's an old stat. Don't quote me on it. It's something around that. But as large of a community as that is, we're still like a niche of a niche of a niche in being broadcasters. And if you are a broadcaster and really want to be around your people and people that get it and people that you can say, like, I can message Graham and be like, hey, thought that I had a bad stream because this and this, and Graham gets it. How many people get that?
As much as it's an amazing place to go and it's positive and everything, one of the best things about going to TwitchCon is the fact that you can bitch to your friends about the worst sides of Twitch.
Yes.
And everyone understands what you're talking about. And literally, you can go there and you can be like, oh, yeah, brilliant. It's like, oh, you know what it's like when this happens and this, and people are like, yeah. Oh,
it's not that, and it's not that, oh, well, you play video games for a living, so that's obviously a gilded unicorn leg. Like, what? Like, no? It's
don't you want a proper career?
Yeah, proper job. What are you doing messing around with games?
Playing video games for a living, guys, is a wonderful blessing. I think the one that we're all very excited to be able to participate in. However, at the end of the day, guys, it's still a job. It's still something we have to trade our time for money. It's something that we have to wake up and that we have to do. And if we don't do it, we don't make money. So yeah, we occasionally have bitches, and you can't bitch at Joe Twitch viewer about it, because he goes, hey, well, screw you, you play video games all day. Like, what are you complaining about, bro? However, I know that Graham and Dan get the, every time that I look at the start streaming button, I have like a tiny little mental breakdown. And I wonder if anybody's going to show up and anyone's going to be there and what's going to happen and how horrible that is.
I've luckily, and lucky for both of us, I think, I don't worry about no one turning up anymore, which is nice.
No. Yeah.
I still get a little bit because, right, okay, full disclosure, you'll see a lot of advice flitted about on Twitter and things about Twitch streaming from time to time. One of the biggest bits of advice that a lot of people will offer is don't look at your viewer count. Because if you don't look at your viewer count, you can't get depressed and you can't get positive, blah, blah, blah. That is probably fantastic advice. I cannot follow it.
Who doesn't do that?
Viewer count all the time during the stream. Because
if
I
you
use it
say
as a
you don't
gauge
look
of
at your viewer
whether I'm
count,
doing
what the
something
fuck are
right.
you doing?
And for better or worse, yeah, it might change my mood if I'm, but I'll take the good with the bad. If I'm doing something bad and for some reason I've only got, I say only got. Say I've only got 50 viewers. Only got 50 viewers. If you're starting on Twitch and you're getting 50 viewers, you're doing fucking great. Keep it up, okay? But on a relative scale, for me, my mood lifts when I get towards the triple digits. Like, if I'm in the triple digits, I start getting more upbeat. If it goes up a bit more, it makes me even more upbeat. The stream goes better. I do better. And so, seeing that, got sidetracked a little bit. But when I do a pre-stream, I do 20 minutes, always done 20 minutes. If after 10 minutes, there's no chat in Ankbot and there's only 8 people on the viewer list, it can make you go a bit, okay, maybe I picked the wrong game today or the wrong time to stream or something, or I don't know, maybe this isn't, and it's really easy to get into a negative space of, well, this is going to be a bad day, whereas if you go pre-stream, you go off, I go off, make a cup of coffee, come back, and there's like 25, 30 people waiting already. I'm like, wow, shit, this is going to be a great day. And it usually is. So it is a weird one. But I'm sort of, in a way, I think it's actually quite good to have the viewer numbers up sometimes, because you can train yourself to try and not, I purposely will, on a day where there aren't very many people in a pre-stream, purposely tell myself, yeah, whatever, people are here. Some people are here, which is fucking awesome. So just stream and entertain the people that are here, because that's what your job is, not to bitch about the fact that you don't have that many viewers. Be happy that you got some and just, do the best you can. But yeah, that kind of like little bit, there's always a little bit of anxiety of, is it going to be a good day? I think. Yeah. Maybe not, are there going to be people in the stream, but is it going to be a good one?
Yeah, I have luckily passed the, is anybody going to show up? Now I'm
not
still am not at the
people.
Yeah, I'm not at the triple digit viewers point, but I mean, people show up, and it's so. I think the thing that I try to tell myself is, regardless of what that viewer number is, if it's more than one, like more than one legitimate viewer, not me and my bot, because I remember those days, and if you've ever streamed on Twitch, you probably remember those days, even if it was just one. I feel honored that somebody's looking at me. Like, I am an overweight, purple-haired, neck-bearded man playing video games on the internet. Like, somebody's watching? What? It's such an honor. We've rabbit holed here a little bit, but those are the people at TwitchCon that is the people that understand that. The people that you can have that conversation with. Yeah,
I mean, the thing is, it kind of steers off the topic conventions a lot, but I we all know lots and lots and lots of streamers. We know a number of Twitch partners. We know a number of people who outwardly appear very upbeat, successful, positive. I know tons of streamers who appear as positive as they possibly can on stream, but when I talk to them on a one-to-one basis, are not happy. They're not in the best of health. They're not mentally happy. They're stressed. They're having panic attacks. Everything's going terrible all the time. It's like, but and it's really, really, really common. Really common.
We're all kind of. I don't like sweeping generalizations, but I want to make one. The vast majority of Twitch streamers, as put together as we may appear on camera, we are all kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Like, we are all mentally broken and crippled people limping around on our last fucking leg. Like, am I wrong?
Oh
Like,
no, not really.
this-
I think
and
pretty
it's-
much. I mean,
there's a beautiful-
I read
Oh, please.
I read an article from a while ages ago. I don't know if you know the streamer Man vs. Game.
Mm-hmm.
He's fairly he's a fairly well-known streamer. He gets good couple of thousand viewers. He's been doing it quite a long time. But I remember reading an interview of him because he basically was just pushing himself to the point where I think he was on amphetamines. He was like on doing speed and stuff. He did an 84-hour stream when I think one of the Batman games came out. It was like Arkham something or other or whatever. He did 84 hours. And at the end of that, I think he had some kind of a minor breakdown and had to completely reevaluate his lifestyle as a streamer, because he literally was just going, right, if I'm going to keep going and keep growing and be successful and stuff, I've got to just stream and just stream and just, kill yourself, basically, trying to get successful. Because if you're not going to work and stream all the time, then there's someone else that's going to do it and, grow better or be more successful or whatever. And it's crazy because outwardly you'd probably just, so as a viewer, most viewers on Twitch don't tune in and watch an 8-hour stream. Some of them do. Some people will, depend on your situation. Most people will drop in for an hour, drop in for half an hour, drop in for a couple of hours max, maybe, then go away. No, you're only getting a little snapshot of the stream.
Yeah, to interject really quick, a statistic on top of that. I average between 25 and 35 viewers. That's where I'm sitting right now. And I do around 6-hour streams. Mm-hmm. I average between 90 and 125 unique people over the course of only having 30 concurrent.
Yeah.
So that's, please go on. Sorry, I just want to throw out actual numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I've looked at my stats are interesting. Sometimes you'll have 1,000 unique people and 100 concurrents, or you'll have 200 it's weird
concurrents
that stay the whole place or whatever. Yeah. But the main point I'm making is that the ultimate point is that you really don't know much about the person you're watching at all. Not really. No matter how much you watch a streamer, or you sub for 2 years or 3 years, 5 years, you watch all the streams, you don't really know much about that person.
Or only what they choose to share.
Yeah. And even then, you still really only know 5% of that person. Unless you're a close friend in real life and you meet up regularly and you talk privately regularly, you don't know shit about that streamer that you're a fan of. That person could be depressed, they could be suicidal, they could have just lost their mum, they could have been in a hideous, abusive relationship, and all you're seeing on stream is, hi, welcome to the stream, and today we're playing this and we're doing that, and you see them for half an hour and everything's cool, and so it's that whole kind of everyone's a bit of a mess. You have no idea really. You really don't. Because you're just seeing, not necessarily an act. They're not necessarily pretending to be someone else, but they're putting their best face on.
Yeah. As much as you guys know, for those that are in here that watch my stream, you guys know I am wildly open about most of my life. There's also a lot that like T, and Graham, and even to some extent Dan, know about things that I'm going through, that I'm dealing with, that I'm are happening in my life that you guys don't see on stream. And it's not because we're hiding anything. It's not because you're not getting a real version. But it's because you can't bring all that to your stream. There's always going to be a bag that you have to set next to yourself.
Yeah.
Off camera.
It's not even about whether you're comfortable with sharing stuff with people or not, because I'm not. I share a lot of stuff on stream, but I won't necessarily go into a lot. I'll tell people if I'm suffering from something or if I've been, but most people will try and keep it out, because a lot of people watch streams because they just want to have a bit of fun and enjoy themselves. They don't want to know your problems. Some of them do, but
yeah. Do you want to watch a 2-hour stream of me or Dan or Graham just bitching about something that's going on in our lives?
Which is entertainment. You wouldn't want to switch on the TV and see all your favorite TV shows just be the actors talking about how shit their day's been or what they're grievances are. You wouldn't tune into a live at the Apollo with a comedian like Lee Evans who'd do 30 minutes of stand-up and then break for 5 minutes to tell you he's been feeling a bit panicky lately, because people would be sitting there going, what's this shit?
Yeah.
I didn't come here for this.
I paid good money to be here.
Well, who is it? Who is it? Who's that? Oh my gosh, older white dude, white hair. Played in the. He's in Three Amigos. And then
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Steve Martin to this day, as far as I know, goes and throws up before he goes on stage. He's Steve effing Martin. Like he is a comedic genius.
Do you know who gets a musician who I spoke to a guitar teacher years and years and years ago who knew the dude I'm about to talk to quite well, a guitarist, rock guitarist, who gets the worst stage fright in the world ever. Every single gig he does. Brian May from Queen.
Oh, wow.
You think Brian May, dude's been doing it for 45 years, like surely he just goes out and rocks out, and apparently he just gets the worst nerves all the time. And if you actually bear that in mind and go and watch a few live gigs of Queen, you can see him when he's concentrating and you can almost see him kind of
loosen up once he gets into it.
And it's really interesting because, some people just get that stage fright like all the time.
And I will throw this out here. I talk this anytime that we talk about kind of this part of the content creation. There's a book called The War of Art. Obvious play on the art of war. But if you're either a content creator or wanting to understand people that create things a little bit better, that book has helped me more. Anytime that I get very down about things that I'm doing and don't understand kind of why things are happening, I don't know if either one of you guys have ever read that. If you haven't, pick it up, grab the Audible, read it, like listen to it on your flight over to TwitchCon. Entirely, you will listen to and or read it and go, shit, that's me.
Yeah.
In so many ways, and it's not just us. It's people that create anything. It's an incredible book, and if anybody is struggling with any of the things that we talked about in the last little bit, The War of Art, I'll put an Amazon link in the chat, and I'll try to put one in the show notes as well.
Knowing you three all on different levels, I know that this conversation can go on much longer than we already have. So I am going to do a last call. Any comments about streaming, TwitchCon, anything that we didn't cover that any of you three would like to just get out there real quick for our lovely audience who is still hanging out?
If you see us at a convention, come and say hi.
Definitely do that. Yeah.
Seriously, come and say hi. If you're thinking about going to a convention, do it. If you know we're going to be at a convention, get in touch beforehand. Organise to meet up with us.
Yep.
It's cool, yeah?
Generally, I do not know. I want to speak for the two of you, but my DMs are open, and that's the best way to, over on Twitter, that's the best way to find me at a con.
Yep.
Is DM me on Twitter.
I'm like that for everyone. I'm not. Yeah. That's not to do with. I've always said that I'm not at the point where luckily I'm not that famous and I don't get any hateful stuff. So at the moment, anyone can get in touch with me with a message.
Yep.
For any reason. It might take me a week to reply it, but I've always been open like that. Even down to like saying on stream if anyone just needs a bit of advice about anything. I'm not necessarily qualified, but I'll try.
Yep.
So, but yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, before we get into our final home stretch of the show that we usually do, our normal crew, the game case, the Cuddles crew, real quick to give you a heads up as to what our next few weeks look like, because Cuddles is going to be gone for basically forever, for a while here.
I'm gone for like a month.
I know. It's going to be crazy. I think we're going to try some things out, but next week we're going to have Zia on from Con Before the Storm to talk BlizzCon. sometime the 22nd or 29th, we're going to be doing a well-played stream. One of those we're going to be taking off as well. Still in the works for scheduling. And then on the 12th, just confirmed tonight, guys, November 12th, we're going to have Malik on. Do a post-TwitchCon stream, talk about his road to partnership a little bit. The 19th, Frosty and Kaz will be on to do post-BlizzCon. And then the 26th, we will be on to talk about Stack Up, because you guys will have your call to arms November 11th. So tons of stuff planned out already. I love it when our schedule is full because it means I don't have to do a lot for a little bit now. It'll be great. And finally, so again, those of you in our normal crew, you know we have this thing called, it was the CTR party. Then it went to Well Played, and now we're officially back to the CTR party, and I think we're staying there for a while. We did that great Kickstarter push in the summer, which Cuddles and I both love and never stress out about and definitely don't have anxiety over for those 6 weeks. And we did it. We funded a party, so we're going to have that thank you stream on Friday the 13th, because why the hell not? We're going to play games. We're going to have fun. There'll be videos played. We'll play the one that we did for the Kickstarter and some other stuff. So come hang out with us Friday the 13th, because what else are you going to be doing? And yeah, I think that's all the businessy stuff that I need to go over. Cuddles, did I miss anything as far as regular podcast stuff before we move on?
Not at all.
All right. Well, you can step back into the co-host chair and finish us off with our normal stuff.
Right on. Graham, Dan, we're going to do some shout-outs. Graham, you got anybody you want to shout out this week?
Malik, you've got him on as a guest. He's a recent new partner. He's one of my best friends in the world, and he's bloody brilliant.
Aw.
Very well said. Dan, how about you?
I would like to shout out a friend, really good friend and fellow streamer called Continue, because she's been really, really poorly lately, and everyone should go and follow her if you're not already, and wish her like love and stuff.
So I just found out tonight, actually, or this afternoon, that Continue and Cuddle Wife happen to be from the very same part of the country. And now Cuddle Wife, she literally squeed when I told. I don't know how open. I don't know how open Continue is about where she lives, so I'm not gonna.
Well, no, I don't know.
But so I won't say where it is. But Cuddle Wife's like, I can't wait to meet this lady. So I'm totally excited about getting the two of them together, because they're going to be like fast friends. Shout outs for me, Graham, Dan, thank you so much. It is now what, 5:45?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. Graham may or may not be yawning slightly for those viewers at home that are listening in your ears. We have kept him up far too late, and I fear we may have kept his lovely wife up as well.
No, the wife is asleep in the lounge on the sofa. So.
Oh, there you go. All right, but thank you two so very much. Not just for coming on the show, but for your friendship, for everything that has come around us, and I appreciate knowing the two of you. Also, huge shout out to Turarts for her leveling up day. Hopefully you shall enjoy your HOTAS and many hours of Elite Dangerousing in your future. T, you got any shout outs?
Yeah, it's been a interesting 2 weeks, and it has left its scars in more than one form of that word. So just thank you for the community for tons of support. These three, I know each of your ages, so pardon the pity party for a second, but this day was a day I was dreading. I was not looking forward to turn the age that I am. It's been a rough 2 weeks, but thank you for all those who have been there and listened to me. And let's hope some of those scars start healing and we'll move on forward. And then, yeah, thank you, Cuddles, for my new gizmo. That it fits together, by the way. It has a little doohickey here, and you can put this doohickey on it, and it makes one piece.
Yeah, no, don't.
I kind of
put them together.
I kind of want to see her try that, though. Like,
she'll be like,
you'll be like,
oh,
yeah.
fuck.
I'm flying the spaceship.
There's a little resistance button. Ooh.
Yeah.
This is all sorts of things. I'm just gonna, okay.
So, guys, this is going to bring us to a wonderful and magical and incredible part of the show where we ask for those all-important 5-star iTunes reviews. If you enjoyed what we did this week, please leave a 5-star review for the Game Case Show. If you hated what we did, leave 2 stars for Frontier Developments has entirely abandoned us and is no longer developing Elite Dangerous because they're not charging us enough money for it, which is the stupidest podcast ever. And if you think this, you should leave 2 stars for that show.
Go play No Man's Sky.
Yes! Please. They won't charge you for it, I promise. Graham, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitch.tv/DJTruthsayer, and I'm at DJTruthsayer on Twitter.
I love that. Also hate it because I keep on looking for Graham on the sofa.
Sorry. Sorry.
Well, no, well done with the branding, sir. Dan, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me everywhere /CommanderHughman. So twitch.tv, twitter.com, instagram.com, youtube.com. What's the other one? I don't even know.
Friendster?
Bandcamp, CommanderHughman.bandcamp, patreon.com, anything, everything. Just you can type my name into Google if you want and it'll come up. But
There
yeah.
you go.
And,
He actually shows up on Google.
We all show up on Google. You'd be surprised.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you do.
Dude, Google yourself and do image search. You'll probably find a photograph.
Yeah, when I
Game
Google my real
case.
name, it gets creepy.
Images. Ah!
Oh, God. Don't do it. Cuddles.
WTF? I'm like all over this shit.
Yes.
You're all over the Googles.
I got googly. Also, happy birthday, Commander Halloran in chat. And big hype,
Hey.
we just confirmed that Malik VR will be on the show on November the 12th.
Nice.
So make sure you tune back up for that one. But thank you, everybody, for showing up. And a special thank you once more to our guests, Graham and Dan.
Very much so.
And to T for setting this up. You're wonderful. You're incredible. Everybody, say bye.
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 Thank you for listening to The Game Case Show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. You can find Cuddles at The Game Case, Tourarts at Tourarts, and you can find the show at The Game Case Show. Join us live Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/thegamecase. Archived episodes are available at youtube.com/thegamecase. The theme music for the show is Celtic Impulse by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com and is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0.